engineering example, we could go into like preferences, biology, and whatnot. It was an example. What happened was they discovered that there's less women working. Then they went into the sectors. They were like, why do we have less women working? We have less women. We have, tukenda JKUAT per class, one girl. Ukenda UN, utapata a different ratio. So they looked at the industries and they were like, in this particular industries, there seems to be equal women, equal men. So there's nothing to solve for in this sector, right? And so if we increase, it means, we have 1,000 employed engineers in this country. And that gap is causing a gap in employment in women. You have to think, okay, like which industries are employing more people and are now employing men because women are not interested in those particular sectors. And I don't think inherently there is like women 20 to 1 is a crazy ratio. Like I don't think for every 20 men there's only one woman who's interested in engineering. It could be 20-15. But 21, that's like not even possible biologically. So the goal is not 50-50.
Then I think it's fine when you're doing like those programs to empower women. Yeah. But when you come to employment, just pick the best. See, that's fair.
Yes, that's more fair. But maybe just a thought. Shouldn't we also maybe try to achieve the same level of fairness and equality, say, against all industries?
Yeah. Because
from construction...
From construction to fashion
to everything,
and you see,
and that's why it breaks down.
Equality across
all industries.
In some industries, you find that women are earning more than men, and some industries, women are earning more than men. I would be happy to share a link on the podcast for our audience to be able to look at the data. But my point is, to Tito's point, that even when, I'll give you two examples. One, in Kenya, the entry level for STEM for ladies, the grade is usually lower than the guys. But you see that ladies tend not to gravitate towards STEM. That's first point. Second point, I gave an example of the Scandinavian countries where they allowed and completely scrapped off all the factors that were causing the ladies not to do STEM. But still, even with all that allowance that was given, you see ladies gravitating towards careers that are more about people as opposed to careers that are about things. So I'm just saying that there could be some inherent biological, psychological factor that causes this to happen. Because even where egalitarianism has been introduced, women tend to go to STEM.
It does go.
Let me support you in support of his point. The irony of those countries was when they made everything equal, such that anyone can do whatever they want. There are no circumstances forcing you to do certain type of work. Like you all educated, you all have the same level of exposure. The irony of that case study was, it seems, when people are free to do whatever they wanted, they did whatever they wanted. Which is, women preferred to do certain type of jobs, they preferred to stay at home, they preferred to work less hours.
Yeah.
So the traditions that we are trying to fight against, in a situation of almost 100% equality, they reverted back to that default setting. That was the irony of that situation.
Yeah, I haven't seen that study and I would like to look at it because I think there's definitely some inherent biological differences between men and women that we all agree on. For example, I used to do a job as an engineer where I used to lift 50 kg spanners every couple of days. It was nice for the first few days. And then I was just like, I am not physically, that time I was smaller than these guys. I am not physically able to continue with this rigorous labor. So in that case, I was like, I will like to step away from this place. However, I do think I think about it like this. Many times when a new concept is introduced in a country, or I think about like the lady who comes to clean my house. I used to have one maybe like 5 years ago where I cooked sausages. I placed them there. If you want to eat them, please eat them. But she never touched them. And there are people who, like house girls, who are not allowed to eat anything in the houses that they clean, right? There are some things that are very deeply seated in our psychology that are systemic. And biases towards particular things are also systemic. Math is hard, is a statement. Math is not for girls, is a statement that was in the world for years and years and years. And it takes a lot more years. For every year that it was there, it takes like 3 to 4 more years to undo those mental and psychological biases, or like inherently built like very like inside our hearts. We need to change that. So I don't think today, if Uhuru said in Kenya, every parent must have a girl and a boy, that it will like, oh no, sorry, yeah, exactly. Like if the president said every parent must, you have the freedom to take both girls and boys to school. When education was made free in Kenya, even at that point, there were still more boys. There are still more boys. It will take years. It took years because now we have at least more equal. I think there's even actually more girls in school, in primary school, than boys. But it's not like a one time. And there's still a wage gap. Like even now, when there's exactly the same number of men and women working, there's still a wage gap. Those things take time to undo and to unlearn. And I think as a world, I think we should finish this conversation. As a world, I'm happy to see that progress. It's actually happening. The progress is happening. Right now, I cannot say I have a wage gap with my fellow colleagues. In some actually circumstances, I earn more than my male counterparts. But I am one example in an ocean. It's like a drop in an ocean. Progress is happening. I'm happy to see that progress. Like, it's not enough. I can't say there's nothing that's enough. It's just a journey that needs to continue. More can be done. A journey that needs to continue. Yeah.
And also, as you're saying, I do as I wind up my final thoughts, I would say that it is true that there seems to be a discrepancy in pay, and yes, we ought to make certain steps to fix it. But I would say that we need to be very, very surgical in how we do it, because if we might end up using a band-aid on a bullet wound, we might end up having very undesirable outcomes. And so it is very, very important that we develop it from a bit further than from bumping up the salaries to equalize.
It doesn't fix the problem.
It does not fix, because what happens is you will end up adding the salaries, equalizing them, but these factors that are causing these issues, they will come back into play, and the discrepancy will come back again. Yeah.
I hope our listeners will have noticed that when we started this conversation, there was a lot of heat. It's cooled down now. So what my point was in the beginning, that it's not that we should not have this conversation. I just don't like the way it's usually had. So I hope today we've arrived at some common ground of how to have this conversation. Yeah, so less simplistic, like it be more nuanced and subtle as to how we talk about this issue.
I think with the conversation we've had, we've seen there's a lot of issues. It's not just one issue that me and Mureti have the same job with, different salaries. There's a lot of other things to consider. I just want to live in a world where I, as a woman, will not be afraid of getting pregnant because of the ramifications it'll have on my career. I don't want to think that, okay, like I was listening to something, and there's a lady who was saying she didn't get pregnant for such a long time because she was planning it around her work calendar. She's like, if I get pregnant in February and we have reviews in November, we need to get to a point where, as women, this is something that we are inherently born with biologically. it should not affect our careers. We didn't choose to be women. We didn't choose to have to be the ones who give birth. We didn't choose that to be naturals. Yeah, we didn't choose to be more agreeable. That the workplace would be more accommodative to women. That's all.
I don't know what my view is. Yeah, because I was thinking we maybe even for the women, like I asked earlier, they can choose, because everyone sacrifices. Even the men, they won't get a relationship with the kids in the long run. For instance, the example I showed you, the 60-year-old guy who was saying that the kids send money to their mother, but hatumiangu kakitu. Like, so there's something. Everyone who wants to progress in any career sacrifices something. So at the end of the day, I don't think we should take career as that's the ultimate. That's the thing. We should respect the women who decide to be homemakers. That's good. I don't know. It's fine. Women who choose, maybe I'll do both career and kids. I'm sorry to say this, but you'll have to.
But see, men don't sacrifice anything.
No.
Men have it all. That's the problem.
But I'm saying there are some families. Yeah, there are some families where the men decide to stay home and the wife.
The freedom to choose, I agree with that completely. We need to have freedom to choose. We shouldn't demonize people who choose different paths. Yeah. The purpose of this podcast, I think, was for women who choose careers. So let's just talk about the women who choose careers. If I am married and I'm married to a man and I get pregnant, we start a family together, we're in the same career path, I shouldn't be, my leg is not cut because I got a child. Right now, the world we live in, my husband can continue to thrive in his career, even with the child. Me, because I am a woman, my career is affected because my career and my wages, because if you're talking about wages here, my career and therefore as effect my wages are affected because I got a child. And both of us got a child. You know, that shouldn't be the world we live in.
Yeah, and it's fine, but yeah.
Those consequences should not only be towards women. There should be no consequences
so it's
for
fine.
both of us.
Both of you will agree. If both of us will be coming at home at 5 to take care of the kids, that's fine. If the problem is the men take advantage and say, women, that's your job, I'll do work, then there's the problem, not at the office.
It's not a family unit conversation only. I guess the family unit is a conversation we need to have in the next podcast. Where we talk about gender roles in the household, how those affect career. Sorry, that's Cinnamon, you want to be in the podcast? Come. You want to say something? So there are, we shouldn't talk this is not about family. This is about wages. Yeah. This is about wages and motherhood in the workplace. Those two things. And I don't think we should delve into the family. It should just be when I have that choice, I have that choice. The same as it should be similar choices as you, and I shouldn't be disadvantaged because I'm a woman. Sorry, my dog is scaring for it. let me put her inside.
Yeah. I think for me, I think I'm everywhere with everyone. not wholly. No, don't clap yet.
It's okay.
Don't clap yet. I think equal opportunities should be afforded to everyone. I think we can all agree that a lot has happened in recent years. I also know some people who also work with ladies who the ladies earn more than the men. So I think it's something that's growing, and I think that's what we're trying to encourage. But where I'm not fully is this idea that it's a bit far-fetched, but it's sort of where you're headed, where there should be the same exact pay. Because I think there are systems, there's as we said, capitalism, and capitalism it's another animal on its own. So with all that in play, we will not in any way achieve equality in the sense that we want to achieve it, equality of income. But I feel that this whole idea has sort of been a bit stretched because again, let me refer back to something in our line of work. So in motor insurance, we charge women less than men. Because generally women are more careful and they cause less accidents, so we give them a discount for that. But right now in the European Union, it's illegal for any insurance company to do that. You cannot charge men and women differently based on gender. Yes. So you see, for me at that point things begin breaking down, because you are going to be unfair to one gender by trying to like have that equality. Yeah, you'll end up disadvantaging another gender.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening in. It's a very long one, but we hope it had value. We hope that you enjoyed it. I don't know how our producer is going to edit this one. And just to clarify, we didn't kill each other. Everyone is alive. No one is, no animal or human was injured in the making of this podcast. But I think it shows how we should have these discussions. Even if we disagree on some fundamental issues, we can have a discussion about these very touchy issues. Thank you so much for listening in. We hope we had give you value for your time, and thank you so much, Ingashan, for hosting us in your beautiful home. You have a very scary dog. It's small. Maybe I need to toughen up as a man. Okay, now I've been told as a human being, because hey, that dog. But anyway, thank you so much for listening in. We hope to catch you next time. Kwaheri.